Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Harvey here. Now, let me tell you something. When a man is scared to lose a woman, you ain't got to guess it, you'll feel it. Because a man who's really afraid of losing you moves different. He talks different. He acts different. He's careful with your heart because he knows how rare it is to find a woman like you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real tonight. You can listen to every word a man says, but if you really want to know how he feels about you, stop listening so much and start watching. Because a man's fear of losing you don't live in his mouth, it lives in his moves. See, words are easy. Actions, that's where the truth shows up. A man can say, I love you before breakfast, and by lunch he can be texting somebody else. But a man who's scared to lose you, oh, he operates on a whole different frequency. His love is cautious, intentional, and consistent. He's not playing with your heart because he knows that. If he does, he might lose something he'll never find again. Now, let me break this down for you. Every man deep down understands what it means to lose something valuable. When he loses money, he feels it. When he loses a job, he remembers it. But when he loses a good woman, that one who believed in him when he didn't even believe in himself, that one loss echoes for the rest of his life. That's why when a man recognizes your value early, when he truly sees you as that blessing in his life, he starts to carry himself differently. He becomes protective, not possessive, but protective, because he knows your presence brings peace, growth, and direction that he can't get from anyone else. And let me tell you, ladies, when a man's scared to lose you, you'll feel it in how he respects your time. He's not out here leaving you on read for hours, not making you wonder where you stand, not letting days go by without checking in. He knows consistency is the language of care. He'll show up even when it's inconvenient. He'll make time when there ain't none. Because the man who's scared to lose you realizes that distance breeds doubt, and he can't afford for you to start doubting his place in your life. See, when a man's scared to lose you, he stops doing the bare minimum. He starts learning your love language, not because it's a trend, but because he genuinely wants to speak to your heart. If your language is quality time, he makes time. If it's words of affirmation, he reminds you who you are, not just when things are good, but when life gets heavy. And when you're upset, he doesn't fight fire with fire. He listens, he tries to understand. He doesn't run from difficult conversations because he knows silence can sometimes say, I don't care, and that's the last message he ever wants you to receive. Fellas, I'm talking to you. Now, you can't say you're scared to lose her and still act like you got options. You can't talk about forever but live like you single. When you truly fear losing her, your priorities shift. You stop entertaining distractions. You stop comparing her to women who don't measure up. You start appreciating what she does, those small things you used to overlook. The way she encourages you when you're down, the way she holds you accountable, the way she gives you peace when the world feels loud. You start noticing it all because you realize you're not entitled to her love, you're blessed to have it. Now, a lot of men out here, they don't understand that until it's too late. They think she'll always be there. They think her patience is permanent. But let me tell you, every strong woman's got a breaking point. She can forgive, she can compromise, she can try again, but the moment she realizes her effort ain't being matched, she's gone. And that's when that man's fear turns into regret. Because now he's sitting alone, replaying all the moments he could have done better, all the times he could have chosen love over ego. That's when he finally understands that actions always spoke louder than words and he wasn't speaking the right language. When a man's scared to lose you, he'll start working on himself. Not because you told him to, but because he wants to deserve you. He'll handle his responsibilities, take care of his business, chase his purpose. He understands that a good woman doesn't want a perfect man. She wants a man who's trying, who's growing, who's learning how to love right. And when that man feels that fear of losing you, it becomes his motivation. It pushes him to be better, not just for you, but for the relationship, for the family you might build, for the future you represent. You see, love isn't supposed to be comfortable all the time. It's supposed to challenge you to rise higher. And that fear of losing someone special can be a healthy reminder. It tells a man, hey, don't take this for granted. Because the truth is, real love is fragile. It's not guaranteed. You can't buy it, and once it's gone, you can't always get it back. So when a man truly gets that in his spirit, his behavior changes. He becomes more intentional with his affection, more honest with his words, and more present in the moments that matter. Ladies, I'm telling you, you'll know when he's scared to lose you. You won't have to question it. He won't just tell you he loves you. He'll show it every day. When you're quiet, he'll notice. When you're hurting, he'll feel it. When you succeed, he'll celebrate you like it's his own win. Because a man who's scared to lose, you understands that your happiness is tied to the health of the relationship. He doesn't compete with your shine. He protects it. He doesn't control your freedom. He respects it. And he sure don't play games with your emotions because he knows one wrong move could cost him a lifetime of peace. And that's the thing about a man's fear of losing you. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's him realizing that in a world full of noise, he found something quiet, steady, and real. And once a man feels that kind of peace, he'll do everything in his power to keep it. So remember this. You don't need to decode his messages or dissect his promises. Just watch the pattern. His consistency will tell you if he's serious. His actions will tell you if he's scared to lose you. Because love that's real doesn't just speak, it shows up. Every day in every way. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that every woman needs to hear and every man needs to understand. When a man truly values you, he protects you, he respects you, and he prioritizes you. Those three things go hand in hand. You can't claim to love somebody and not make them feel safe. You can't say she's your queen, but treat her like she's an option. You can't talk about a future with her if you don't make her a priority in your present. Real love, grown folks' love is proven by action, not just affection. When a man values a woman, he sees beyond her beauty. He sees her heart, her patience, her spirit. He doesn't just admire her, he appreciates her. He knows that her love is not something he's entitled to, it's something he's entrusted with. And when a man understands that kind of value, he moves differently. He starts building a foundation around that relationship, not walls between it. He becomes careful with his words, mindful with his decisions, and intentional with his time. Because when a man values you, he starts thinking long term. He's not trying to win the moment, he's trying to keep the connection. Let's start with protection. When a man values you, protecting you becomes natural. And I'm not just talking about physical protection, I'm talking emotional, spiritual, and mental protection. He protects your name when you're not in the room. He protects your peace when life gets heavy. He protects your trust by staying honest, even when it's hard. He won't let his pride or his friends make him risk what he's building with you. A man who values you doesn't put you in situations that make you question your worth. He knows what it took for you to open your heart, and he's not going to be the reason it closes again. A man like that doesn't play games with your emotions. He doesn't flirt for attention or make you compete for his love. He's not scrolling through temporary distractions when he's already got something real at home. Because when he values you, he understands that your heart is not a playground, it's a treasure. And you don't play with treasure, you protect it. Now, respect, that's the next level. You can't have love without respect. Love might make you care, but respect makes you behave. A man who respects you doesn't raise his voice just to prove he's in charge. He doesn't tear you down to make himself feel big. He listens even when you disagree. He values your opinions, your goals, your boundaries. He understands that you are not his possession, you are his partner. Respect is what keeps the relationship standing when emotions get loud. Because emotions fade, but respect, that's the glue. That's what keeps two people together through every storm. And ladies, respect goes both ways. You can't expect a man to honor you if you're not also willing to meet him with that same energy. But I'm telling you, when a man truly values you, he sets that tone first. He leads with honor. He shows up when he says he will. He's consistent with his words. He doesn't let his mood determine how he treats you. You'll know you're respected because you'll feel peace in his presence, not pressure. And then there's prioritization. This is where most people get it wrong. Because, see, when a man values you, you don't have to beg for his time. You don't have to compete with his distractions. You won't be sitting by the phone wondering why he hasn't called or second guessing if he still cares. A man who prioritizes you makes you feel chosen, not tolerated. He includes you in his plans. He makes decisions with you in mind. He doesn't put you on the back burner until it's convenient for him. You'll know you matter to him because his effort won't be seasonal. It'll be consistent. When a man prioritizes you, he doesn't hide you. You're not a secret. He's proud to claim you, to introduce you, to let the world know this is my woman. And he's not saying that for validation. He's saying it out of appreciation because he knows how rare it is to find a woman who loves, supports, and challenges him to be better. When a man values you, he prioritizes your happiness. He checks in when you're quiet. He supports your dreams. He's not intimidated by your success. He celebrates it. Because real men know when their woman wins, they win too. Let me tell you something else. A man who values you won't just show up when things are good. Anybody can love you in the sunshine. But the real test is how he acts in the rain. When life hits, when bills pile up, when emotions clash, does he still protect your peace? Does he still speak to you with respect? Does he still choose you even when it's inconvenient? That's the kind of man who truly values you. Because value isn't proven in comfort, it's proven in consistency. Fellas, if you're listening, I want you to hear me clearly. The woman who's loyal to you, who believes in you, who stands beside you when life's uncertain, she's a gift. Don't ever make her feel like she's asking for too much when she's only asking for what's right. Protection, respect, and priority, those are not luxuries. Those are the basics of a man who knows what he's got. You can't say you value her and still make her feel like she's replaceable. You can't say she's special and treat her like she's ordinary. Because women remember how you made them feel. And when she realizes she's not valued, she stops fighting for it. And ladies, understand this. When a man truly values you, he's not perfect, but he's present. He may not have all the answers, but he'll try. He may not say everything right, but his effort will speak louder than his words. Because men don't protect, respect, or prioritize things they don't care about. They only do that when they found something worth keeping. And when a man realizes that, he'll move heaven and earth to make sure you never have to question your place in his life. That's the difference between being loved and being valued. Love can fade when it's built on convenience. But when a man values you, when he protects your heart, respects your soul, and makes you his priority, that's when love turns into legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, when a man gets to that point in his life where he's scared to lose a woman, that's when he starts getting intentional. You can always tell when a man's heart has grown up because he stops playing like love is a game. He stops gambling with something real for something temporary. He realizes that what he's got with you is not replaceable, and once that realization hits him deep, his whole behavior changes. His words match his actions. His decisions start to make sense. And the man who once lived for attention starts living for connection. See, every man reaches a moment in his life when he has to choose between what feels good and what's good for him. That's when maturity shows up. Because when he's scared to lose you, he stops chasing validation. He's no longer moved by the same things that used to tempt him. That ego-driven need for admiration fades and loyalty takes its place. He understands that one bad decision, one selfish moment can cost him the love that keeps him grounded. He doesn't need to touch the fire to know it burns. He's seen what losing a good woman does to a man's spirit, and he refuses to be that story. When a man becomes intentional, you'll notice the shift. He doesn't just talk about change, he becomes the change. He doesn't just make promises, he keeps them. He doesn't need you to remind him how to love you, he pays attention. Because love, when it's real, requires focus. You can't love someone right if you're distracted by the world. And that's what temporary pleasures do, they distract. They pull a man away from what truly matters just to satisfy something that doesn't last. But when he's scared to lose you, he realizes that nothing temporary is worth the permanent pain of losing your trust. A man who's intentional starts to plan his life with purpose. He starts thinking about the future, not just his, but y'all's. He starts asking questions like, how can I make her feel more secure? How can I support her dreams? How can I build something that lasts? He moves from impulse to intention. Every text, every conversation, every decision reflects one truth. He doesn't want to mess this up. And it's not fear in a weak sense, it's fear in a respectful sense. It's the kind of fear that comes from knowing you've been blessed with something rare and not wanting to lose it through carelessness. Ladies, I want you to hear this clearly. A man who's scared to lose you doesn't need to be told what to do. He already knows what's at stake. He doesn't flirt with temptation because he's too busy protecting his peace, and his peace includes you. He won't entertain someone else just to feel desired, because he already feels whole knowing he's got a woman who loves him, respects him, and stands beside him. When he's intentional, he doesn't play those social media games. He's not out here liking thirst traps, not messaging random people late at night, not leaving you wondering where his loyalty lies. He's focused. And focus is one of the clearest signs of love in a grown man. Let me tell you something about intentional love. It's not loud, but it's powerful. It's not about constant grand gestures. It's about consistent presence. A man who's scared to lose you will make sure you never have to question his priorities. You'll know where you stand with him. He'll create boundaries that keep your relationship safe. Not because you demanded it, but because he decided that nothing outside of you two is worth risking what you have. He's not afraid of saying no to the world because he's already said yes to you. Now, here's the thing about temporary pleasures, they're easy. They don't require effort. They don't ask for accountability. But they also don't bring peace, growth, or stability. They give a man a moment, but they take away his meaning. And when a man becomes intentional, he starts to see that. He realizes that his strength isn't in how many women he can attract. It's in how well he can protect the one he loves. That's real manhood. That's real discipline. And that's what separates a man who's ready for love from one who's still practicing. When he's scared to lose you, he also becomes more emotionally honest. He starts opening up in ways he never did before. He communicates instead of shutting down. He admits when he's wrong. He apologizes without excuses. That's intention. Because now his goal isn't to win an argument, it's to win your trust back when he slips. He values the connection too much to let pride destroy it. You'll see him putting in the work, not just saying, I'll do better, but actually showing it day by day. And you know what else happens? He becomes protective of his relationship, like it's sacred. He doesn't let outside opinions dictate how he loves you. He doesn't compare you to anyone else. He doesn't let family, friends, or exes interfere. Because when a man's scared to lose you, he's focused on keeping peace, not proving points. He knows what he's got, and he understands that too many people lose good things because they keep entertaining things that mean nothing. Fellas, I'll say this to you straight. If you found a woman who believes in you, who supports your vision, who loves you at your worst and still helps you strive for better, you'd better get intentional real quick. Because love without intention will fail every time. You can't build forever on maybe. You can't keep a good woman by being careless. And you can't expect loyalty when your actions don't match your promises. If she's rare, treat her like it. If she's valuable, protect her like it. And ladies, when a man becomes intentional, it's a beautiful thing to witness. You'll feel it in how he talks to you, how he prioritizes you, how he takes responsibility for the relationship. You won't feel like you're forcing anything because he's already doing it willingly. He's not perfect, but he's present. He's not flawless, but he's faithful. He's no longer chasing distractions because he knows the difference between attention and affection. That's what happens when a man's scared to lose you. He becomes a man of purpose. He's not out here trying to impress the world. He's trying to build a world with you. He's not chasing what's easy, he's nurturing what's real. Because once a man understands that your love is his peace, his home, and his inspiration, he won't risk it for a moment of pleasure that fades before the morning comes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something straight from the heart. True love, real grown, God-fearing love, it ain't about possession. It's about appreciation and commitment. See, too many people out here think that love means ownership. They think that when somebody loves them, they belong to them. But love was never meant to be a cage, it was meant to be a choice. Every single day, real love chooses you again and again, not because it has to, but because it wants to. That's what makes it powerful. That's what makes it last. When you possess something, you hold it tight out of fear. You control it, you restrict it, you want to keep it all to yourself. But when you appreciate something, you hold it carefully out of gratitude. You admire it, you nurture it. You protect it not because you're scared to lose it, but because you understand how blessed you are to have it. And that's the difference between love that suffocates and love that grows. When love turns into possession, it becomes about control. When love turns into appreciation, it becomes about freedom. And every strong relationship is built on freedom, the freedom to be yourself, to grow, to evolve, and to be loved for exactly who you are. A man who truly loves a woman doesn't see her as property, he sees her as a partner. He's not trying to control her, he's trying to honor her. He's not saying you're mine out of ownership, he's saying it out of devotion. There's a big difference. Possession says, I want to keep you so no one else can have you. Appreciation says, I want to love you so deeply that you'll never want to leave. And that's the kind of love that lasts. When love is based on possession, it's fragile. It breaks under pressure because control comes from insecurity, and insecurity can never build a strong foundation. But when love is based on appreciation, it creates peace. You start celebrating your partner instead of competing with them. You see their strengths as a blessing, not a threat. You don't need to clip their wings just to keep them close. You trust that they'll stay because they want to. That's real love. That's trust in motion. And let me tell you something about commitment. Commitment is not just a promise you make once, it's a choice you renew every day. Commitment means saying, I'm still here, even when things get hard. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. It's not about owning someone, it's about showing up for them. Because love isn't proven in good times. Love is proven when the storm comes. Anybody can stay when everything's easy. But it takes real commitment to stay when the feelings fade, when life gets heavy, when misunderstanding steps in. That's when appreciation turns into action. That's when you say, I'm not leaving, because what we have is worth fighting for. When a man truly appreciates a woman, he notices her in the little things. He doesn't wait until she's gone to say how much she meant to him. He doesn't take her effort for granted, the meals she cooks, the prayers she prays, the patience she gives. He sees her sacrifices and he honors them. He tells her she's beautiful, not just when she's dressed up, but when she's tired, when she's real, when she's herself, because appreciation doesn't need perfection to exist. It just needs awareness, the awareness to see love in its everyday form. And ladies, when you appreciate your man, it changes him too. You bring out the best in him when you see him, really see him, not for what he lacks, but for what he's trying to be. You can't possess a man into becoming better, but you can appreciate him into rising higher. When a man feels appreciated, he commits deeper. He starts thinking about building, not just dating. He starts showing up as the man you always knew he could be, because now he feels safe enough to grow. Now, the reason so many relationships fail today is because people confuse attachment with love. They think holding on tight means caring, but sometimes holding too tight means you don't trust what you have. Love doesn't grow in fear, it grows in faith. You got to believe that if it's real, it'll stay. You got to understand that the strongest love is not chained, it's chosen. Every single day, through good and bad, you both have to keep choosing each other. Commitment means you're in it for the long haul. It means you don't walk away at the first argument. You don't give up because the spark isn't burning as bright as it used to. You reignite it. You water what you planted. You work through the dry seasons knowing that love, like anything valuable, takes maintenance. You can't just say, I love you once and expect it to hold forever. You have to live it, prove it, and protect it every day. That's what commitment looks like. And let me tell you, appreciation and commitment together, that's the secret sauce. Appreciation keeps you grateful, and commitment keeps you grounded. Appreciation reminds you not to take love for granted, and commitment reminds you not to walk away when things get tough. When both exist, love stops being a feeling and becomes a foundation. That's when you know it's real. Fellas, I've seen too many good women walk away from men who thought love was possession. You can't keep her by controlling her. You keep her by cherishing her. You can't love her right if your love is rooted in fear. Love her because you appreciate who she is, not because you're afraid of losing her. And ladies, don't let anyone convince you that love means surrendering your individuality. The right man won't ask you to shrink, he'll give you room to shine. Because when a man truly appreciates a woman, her light becomes his pride, not his problem. See, true love isn't loud, it doesn't boast, it doesn't demand. It just shows up consistently, day after day. It protects, it uplifts, it appreciates. It says, I'm here not because I have to be, but because I choose to be. That's not possession, that's partnership. That's the kind of love that grows roots so deep that no storm can pull it apart. So, when you find that kind of love, the one that appreciates, that commits, that respects your freedom and values your presence, hold on to it. Not out of fear, but out of gratitude. Because real love doesn't own. Real love honors. And when two people live in that truth, they don't just stay together, they grow together.